Hello beautiful simmers. In today's video we'll be going through the build buy items from the Sims 4 Discover University expansion pack. This pack retails for $39.99 USD. However, the EA app does have sales every few months. And if you do decide to purchase this, you can use a creator code. While it doesn't give you any discount, it will give the creator of your choosing a small commission. Alright, so we're going in with the buy items, and this bed here is very reminiscent of the type of bed that you would see at a college. For some reason though, we do not have bunk beds. I'm not sure why. So if you are from like the UK or something, is that not a thing? Do you guys not have bunk beds in there? So these last two beds that we just saw are more reminiscent of what you would see like in a home, is my type of thinking. I love that chair that you can set up to watch sports. I think that is very good for the pack. This chair right here I like because it's giving more of a like an elder sim vibe, and I'm liking that. I like a lot of that stuff now lately just because it gives more to our gameplay. Well, not gameplay, but setup, you know what I mean. We've got a few different chairs, and this right here looks like it would be a stool for in the lounge at a university. And then we have another stool, and now we've got some computer chairs. This one is really neat with the little decal there. It's kind of fun. And of course, this one looks more like one that a professor would use. So I do like that they included that. As you go through these items, please keep in mind that this expansion pack was created in 2014. So yeah. We have that matching couch with the chair, and then this coffee table is like a wood paneling type deal going on. This table I like because it's got 6 people that can sit on either side, and then this is a table that actually matches it. This table, it would remind me of something you would see at the university cafeteria. That's what that reminds me of right there. This one, I think you could sit 6 people on both sides, or you know what I mean. And then we've got this. It looks very antique in my opinion. It go great with that little elderly sim chair. That right there, definitely university reminiscent because it just looks like those ones that you get there. This is kind of cool because I like that it has the doors. And then we've got this. Now, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be something that they light on fire, or if it's supposed to be like a coffee table. Not sure. And then we have this coffee table. It's kind of interesting with the decals on there. This is a very good desk for this pack. It's perfect. It actually has books and stuff that's already built in. I like this one. It's more staffy, and this one definitely goes with that big, or not big chair. It goes with that chair of a professor using. Now we've got stall bathrooms here, so we didn't get any new toilets other than this one here. And we've got actually another bathroom. This one is actually got things. I think there's one that has things written on the inside. I could be wrong. I guess I'm wrong. I must be thinking of a different pack. But then we've got 2 different showers here. One just a wall shower, and then the other one has the curtain on it. And now we've got some stuff where you can work on robotics. I haven't actually done the gameplay yet. And then, of course, we need podiums and stuff. You gotta be doing a lot of speaking in university. Well, we've got a computer, and this reminds me of the very, first, well, I should say the computer that they released, you know? One of those early Apple computers, Macintosh computers, whatever. Now, I think these are supposed to be like kegs or something. There's quite a few different flavors. Look at that. And then we've got a, that's not a foosball table. It's not a tennis table, it's a ping pong table. I think those are kind of cool. I like that it gives more gameplay. And then we've got one that has the university logo on it. I think that's good for this pack. I can, you know, it's something that we definitely have. And then we've got soccer balls. I like that we're finally getting some of those things. We've got a couple different bikes here. They're kind of different from the other ones that we've seen in the pack. They're more adult themed. And then we've got a book. We've got, of course, oh my gosh, I don't know if you heard that. That was my cat. We've got a few different bars here. And then we've got a few different food stands. And we've got more food stands here. We got quite a bit. Some of it is pizza stands, and it looks like it's some soda stands. I don't know. And then we've got some plants. I do kind of like this. It's kind of small and cute. And then we have these ones, little succulents and cactus. That's kind of adorable. This one actually matches that table that we'd seen earlier, so that's kind of cool. We've got quite a few posters, which of course we're going to need that. We're in a dorm. I mean, obviously. Got quite a few. Some of them are, how would you put it? Like, I think they're, like if you're joining sports, like those kind of posters. And then we've got a mirror here. I like that the ones with the stickers on them. I've never personally put stickers on my mirror because it would interfere with looking into my reflection, but I do think it's really fun to do. And I am just kind of weird like that. I love the stack of files. I also like that we get a couple new books. And then I do like the curtains that we've got. Here's little robot things. I don't know, I haven't played with them, but there's quite a few different swatches. And then, of course, you know, we've got those university signs. Gonna need some of those. We've got a flagpole. Well, I guess it's one pole for something else that we'll be seeing in this video. But I'm just going through the swatches. We've got quite a bit. And then a scale, I guess, because you're gonna need to be keeping your weight. No, you don't want to get freshman 15. Just kidding. It's not that kind of scale. But yeah, here's the banner. So, you know, you've got that pole for this banner. But it does look like a flagpole, right? And then this is a neat rug. I had to change the day settings. But we've got kind of some cute swatches here. I do like those. And then we've got a fireplace, which could totally set up like a fireplace in like an office, like an elderly Sims office, you know? It's kind of cool. And then some flags and some pictures, board type deals. And then we've got regular pictures. This is really cool. I love this. So fun. I like getting awards in school. And of course we've got some signage and graduation cap picture. All right, gonna need that. Hopefully your Sims graduate. But I mean, like, I don't know, how long can a Sim be in a university? You guys are gonna have to let me know. Like, do you play with your Sims with the aging on or off? You gotta let me know. I'm curious. That's kind of cool right there. Different things on it. And then this, I love that they included this in there. It's got like a little calendar. I think that's kind of fun. And then of course you're gonna need a map. You gotta know where you're going. And then a menu because they do need to eat. And this is very good for like a cafeteria. And of course more flags type deals to hang up on the wall. And this looks like a crest for one of the clubs. Another crest here. And then let's see, another mirror. That's kind of interesting. Or no, maybe it's not. I don't know. That was kind of odd. Okay, I do like this little, what is it supposed to be, like a buffet type deal? I like it though. I really do. I think I'm gonna use this in some of the elderly Sims homes. We've got a little lamp. It reminds me of that Pixar lamp that hops around for the eye in the before you watch your movie. We've got a few. This one looks like again an elderly lamp too, and that lamp is very elderly. Okay, we've got these lights here, which would work great for a lounge. Well, the university lounge. And then we've got this here's like a little, I don't know, like just another type of light that we've got for probably outdoors. Of course, we've got laptops, which are great for this pack. And then we've got some speaker systems. And this clock is so cute. It's a little Apple clock. Apple clock. Not that kind of Apple clock like the food apple. And we got a mini fridge, which definitely you will need when you are in university or college, whatever you want to call it. And then we've got a little snack bar there. Well, I guess it's a lunch bar. And of course, a slot for your mail to go in. And then another mail. I believe they're both for mail, are they not? Of course, a lockery type bookshelf is kind of interesting because you don't really have lockers in university. This is like a makeshift bookshelf, so fun. I like how all of these shelvings aren't filled up because I personally love to put my own things in the shelves. So I would prefer to have the books out of them and then put whatever books I want to put in them and just have more books in the pack, if that makes sense. That one is going to be great in a professor dorm. This is a dresser that we got for this kit, or pack, I should say. Excuse me. I like this one. This one's kind of different from some of the things we've seen in the game. And then I love the stickers that they included on that. We're heading into the build items now. We've got a few different wallpapers here. Now, some of these you could see the baseboards and the upper are colored differently, which is kind of interesting. I do like the texture that they have on here. I think that's nice. Now we've got some stone. Well, to me, it looks like stone type wallpaper. It's kind of interesting that the up at the top, the design things that they got going on. I think the outside of the university would look good like that. And then we have some brick wallpaper, which makes sense for this pack because the dorm rooms do have brick. It's a brick dorm room. And then we've got some more bricks. Now for flooring, honestly, this flooring looks like it would go in the lounge area because I feel like a lot of regular university either has like a standard cheapy carpet or cement with, like the tiles at Walmart, like that, like those kind of tiles. I forget what they're called, but they just literally go over cement. Now we've got doors here. And I like the little accents up at the top. I think those are kind of fun. We've got these other doors, which has an arch up above it. Just kind of interesting. They look more, oh no, I set it up too close together, so now you can see them glitching. I am so sorry. Okay, we've got more doors, which you can see the little spot to put mail in, which is kind of fun. I do like that detail there. I am all about the details. So I do like that. You could either use that for the opening for one of the classrooms, or you could use it in a home or something like that, maybe a dorm room, or like, how they have the different types of sororities. That would be great for that. I do love these doors as well. I think those are kind of fun. I like the detail on the glass that they've got there. I think that's neat. I love details. And look at those little door hinges. Like, isn't that really cool? Love that. And then we've got some more interesting doors right here. These would look more, well, I guess more to like, opening the doors for big university classes, I guess, where there's a bunch of different classrooms. I do like these. I think they're, unless we just saw these. No, these are more colors of the other one. Okay, sorry guys. But I do still like those doors. Now we're jumping into windows. We have quite a few different windows here, like quite a few. It's insane. Okay, there's some colored windows, and then some that are more in neutral colors. I kind of like the ones with the shutters because I feel like we don't have enough variety of those. Like, we need more shutters, like with just a different feel to them. You know what I mean? I do like these windows. I do think that those would be in like a university classroom, well, like an older type university classroom. So I think that's kind of fun. And then we've got these other type of windows, and some of them don't have that pattern, that tic-tac-toe pattern or whatever you want to call it going through them. And then these are kind of fun too with the archway up above it. It's kind of interesting. They're very different, and I did put those two close together. I didn't realize it until I was going through this video, so I apologize. And then we got these. Interestingly, I kind of like these. They're more modern, so I am here for that. But they are kind of small for me, so I can picture them being like in, maybe using them as like a bathroom window or something, you know. And then we've got these windows which are really skinny, so those ones maybe could be used in the bathroom. I don't know. These ones over here were kind of interesting because they're almost like two windows stacked on top of one another, if you feel me. It was just kind of interesting. And then we've got more shutters, but it's interesting because it seems like those shutters are too small for that window. Is that just me? But yeah, we've got tons and tons of windows here, like lots. And just going through the other side so you can see what the other side of the window looks like. Doesn't really look too different. I mean, still looks pretty similar. I don't know, are you guys seeing any differences? Because I'm not really seeing any differences right now, but I've been looking at windows for a very long time now, so yeah. Did we go through these windows? I don't know. I don't think we did, but I do like these ones because I love the big windows. It's harder to build with these giant windows, but I do really like them just because they allow more light in. I do typically draw towards those kinds. I do like these ones as well. And then of course we've got these windows, these what are they called, a bay window? I really need to brush up on my vocabulary. I do apologize. So here's just the other side of those windows that we just went through. Sometimes they look different, other times they don't, so it's just something to keep in mind. You'll notice when you're putting together houses and adding windows, sometimes the outside of the window does get put on the inside, and sometimes it doesn't. And then sometimes you're like, oh, the outside of the window looks better on the inside. So it gets kind of difficult. Now here are some other windows that we've got, which are kind of interesting because it's got that asymmetry going on. So yeah, now we've got fences. I actually kind of like these stone fences. They're kind of nice. We've got some basic colored swatches here. There weren't too many swatches, honestly. Now, getting into spandrels, I tried to set them up to where you could see how they would look with the fence. And I do like the texture up at the top. Look at those. You can see some of the crests on there. I thought that was pretty neat and a nice detail added to there. I do like how you can see some of the nicks when you're going through. I think that adds more realism, and I love the realism. I love that. That red one is just very standoutish. It makes me think of like you know, like an ice cream shop or something. Now we're on to the freezes. We've got just some very colorful swatches and then some not so colorful swatches. So it does remind me of like a diner. This one is huge, and this one would work great for the outside of like a huge dormitory. I think that would be phenomenal for it. And I think that's kind of the vibe that they were going with when they did that. Now we've got, well, these are always under chimneys, but these don't really look like chimneys. Do they not? I mean, I don't think they look like chimneys. Anyways, well, a couple of them do, but yeah, they're just to add on top of your house or your building, whatever you choose. And then some of them actually match the windows that we have, so I do appreciate that. I love when things are cohesive, and it is a pack, so things should be cohesive to one another. Now we've got one more here before we get into like the actual chimneys. Again, this is gonna go great for like classroom or the dorm, whatever. Now we're getting, see, this looks more like a chimney, so there's that. And then there is this one as well, which, okay, I do like the brick swatches because I don't know, they kind of look like you could build like a Jimmy John's or something like that, you know, like how they have downtown or something, or downtown shops. I love this flower box. I like the detail on it. And then we've got another flower here. I like this hanging basket flower. I think that's cute, and I do like the details that they put on there. And then this little, you know, I haven't figured out how to build with this yet. I'm still working on it. I'm not entirely sure. Like, do I put plants in there? I don't know. Now we're getting on to styled rooms. And this is great if you're not really sure how to set things up. So one thing I do think this pack was missing is bunk beds, because those are always in a university. I do like some of the items in this pack. I love that this expansion pack gives us more gameplay, but yeah, I really do think it was a missed opportunity for more bunk beds and more modular furniture. I do know Dream Home Decorator does give you a ton of bunk beds and more modular furniture, but I think that would have been great to implement in this pack. So I do think that that was a missed opportunity there. I do think that this pack is very university-esque, if you will. That being said, is it worth it? Not if you're just going through the build items. I mean, you'd have to like CAS as well, obviously, but I do think it adds more to your game. And we did go over CAS, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check that out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.